had a question on if I had any tips for your first tournament. That's what we're going to go over today. My name is Greg. You're watching How to Play Paintball. Alright guys, so heading out to practice right now, and just wanted to go over briefly just some of the main things for when you're going into your first tournament. First off, and this starts before the tournament, is make sure that you're hydrated. Make sure that you're drinking enough water at least a day or two before. To not get too personal, your urine should be pretty clear. That'll tell you that you're pretty hydrated. You just don't want to go out and be cramping at the tournament. So if the tournament starts on Friday, at an NXL event, you want to be hydrating yourself at least Thursday and Wednesday before that. I always have a gallon jug with me, so for the most part I'm going to be hydrated no matter what. Just because I'm drinking so much water on a regular basis. But you are going to want to make it where your body is hydrated before the tournament. Now, if you have some nutritionist or something, I'm not a nutritionist, so if somebody mentions to do it even earlier than that, by all means listen to them. I've just seen that at least a day or two, I think would probably be fine. It'd be better if you were hydrating all the time. Don't drink soda on a regular basis, beer on a regular basis. Nothing wrong with here and there, but drink water for most of the liquids that you're taking in. The other one, and this is a big one, fresh batteries. It doesn't matter if you just put them in, the weekend before. I would still, if you need to switch out your double A's or your 9 volts, depending on what gun you're using, in your hopper and your gun, I would probably do it either the night before or the day of, just to have fresh batteries. You don't want to have your gun go down because of something simple like that. That's a big one. You don't want to be running around asking if anybody has any extra batteries, because then you're worried about other things instead of focusing on the game. And of course it doesn't really help if your gun and your hopper doesn't work because you didn't put fresh batteries in. So it's best just to spend that extra $5 or whatever for, what is it, 2 9 volts I think is usually, it's about 1 to 2 9 volts I think is about $5 and a couple dollars. Honestly, your team, go to like a Costco or a Sam's Club and everybody just pitch in and you can get like a huge pack of 9 volts and double A's. So I actually have a pack at home of fresh batteries that are like, I think it's a pack of like 20 something. So I'm good for a while. And those batteries, they'll stay fresh for, I think it's like 5 or 6 years or something. Can't remember exactly, but there is an expiration date on there. All that, what I'm trying to say is, if everybody pitches in just a little bit, then you can have a team pack. That way everybody has fresh batteries no matter what. So the other thing that's really important is making sure that your gun and your hopper are clean. You want to make sure that when you're switching out your batteries and all that you're also wiping off any old paint, lubing your bolt. Make sure that everything is all set the day before. Go through, clean all your stuff out, the eyes, everything. Just go through and make sure that everything is working fine. You just don't want it to be where you get out on the field and now your gun stops working halfway through a point. And what if your job is to stop somebody from moving, or you're shooting a gap or shooting a lane or something, and now 2 guys can run through that because your gun stopped working, which isn't a team problem, it's an individual problem. So you just don't want to be that guy. You have at least a week. Even if you found out the night before that you were playing a tournament, you still have that night to clean your stuff. It doesn't take that long to clean your gun out, to relube the bolt, to make sure that all the old paint is off, all of that stuff, all the maintenance that you would need to do to make sure that it's ready for the next day. It's fine to take that extra 20 minutes that it would take to like really clean everything out. Usually when I'm cleaning my gear, actually I'm just kind of watching Netflix and just kind of going through and maybe watching YouTube videos, whatever. So it's almost kind of a relaxing thing for me. So the next thing is make sure that you get there early enough. You want to get there at least an hour before your first match. So, you know, you'll be able to go and get your paint, you'll be geared up, you can fill all your pods and everything, have that all ready for the day. And also, with that, now you have time, and this is really, really important, guys. Make sure that when you go and get to the field for the tournament, that you are going to go and chrono your gun. It doesn't matter if you were shooting perfect, you know, the week before at practice. That's that chronograph. Whatever the field is using, that's the chronograph that matters. So make sure, and I like to keep my gun, I don't like to ride the Lightning at a tournament, you know, ride it in that gray area of like the 290s, and it gets right up to 300. I don't like to do that at a tournament, because if you get a couple that spike over, and that's the time that they chrono you to see if you're shooting hot, then you're going to get a penalty, and it's not worth it. So if you're in the 280, 290 range, that's perfect. You know, maybe upper 280s, lower 290s. Your gun is going to bounce around a little bit, just because, I mean, it's not going to be a perfect, you know, 291, you know, every single time. So you just want to make sure that your gun is going to be fine. Also, this is the time that, you know, when you shoot it through when you shoot the paint through your gun, seeing that everything is working fine. Once you've done that, then you're all set to go. The other thing that I would recommend is make sure that you have swabs. So I always carry at least 2 barrel mates with me when I'm playing, just because you don't want it to be a chance that maybe you break a ball. You know, maybe it was a little bit too brittle and it breaks in your gun, in your barrel, and now you don't have anything to swap it out with. With tournament paint, you can't really shoot through it. With practice paint, sometimes you can shoot through a broken barrel break, just by, you know, you just keep shooting, and it'll kind of clear it out a little bit, and you'll see the paint start to straighten back out again. With tournament paint, it's so brittle that, and the fill is so thick that it's going to be super tough. It's pretty much impossible to shoot through a barrel break with tournament paint. Another thing that you're going to want to do is, when you get to the tournament, is try to walk the field. There are going to be times where you get to the tournament and the field is a little bit different than what you would practice. It's just kind of, it just happens. So you just want to make sure that you're all set. You know, if there is a change, I remember I went to a practice. I went to a tournament. I remember it was Chicago, and we had practiced it a certain way, and then when we got to the tournament, 2 of the cans were moved over further than what we had practiced, and that blocked off a lane that we had. So it was like, all right, well, now we got to figure something out. So whether that was a fault on our part, or maybe the tournament, you know, the crew that set it up did it wrong, I don't know. But we had to adjust, because it doesn't matter that we practiced on it. You know, we can try to shoot that same lane, but you're just going to be shooting a can. So, you know, we have to adjust accordingly. So it's just making sure that you're all set before the tournament even starts. The thing that I'll leave you off with is just have fun. Sometimes people can overthink tournaments. They can try to, okay, well, we need to change all this because I saw a team do this. You don't necessarily have to change your game plan unless it's absolutely necessary. If a team is just flat out beating you, and they, because of one player, then yeah, you know, if you see a guy is favoring a certain spot, like if you go and scout a team, like you go and watch their game before you play them, and you see that maybe one guy favors running to a certain spot, then yeah, just change 1 or 2 guns to shoot that gap so that you can get that guaranteed kill. But for the most part, I mean, just go and have fun with it. You know, don't overthink it. If you were being aggressive at practice, be aggressive at the tournament. You know, if you found that at practice you need to slow play this field a little bit, slow play it. You know, it's not, you don't need to overanalyze it. Guys, I really appreciate it. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.